Da, 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 da. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Boom Boom Room, and of course, I am the sexiest man on all Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom, here's Sugar Room, live from the RVA Richmond, Virginia. Well, in case you missed it, the speculation is over. All Elite Wrestling held their press conference for Double or Nothing last night at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. The big story coming out of that is Kenny Omega has indeed signed with All Elite Wrestling. And not only that, but they introduced new talents. They've even they've even announced 4 matches for their upcoming Double or Nothing card on May 25th from Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. So, wow, a lot to unpack here. So let's get down on it here. All right, first things first. They announced the press conference. You had Alec Marvez and Conrad Thompson welcome in Excalibur. A little bit of pre-show. I think Excalibur, I don't know if it was by accident or by design, maybe kind of tipped his hand a little bit, maybe delved into spoiler territory, but easy to forgive that. Anyway, they start the official press conference. Their first person to make their debut is Sonny Kiss. Now, you may not know that name, but if you see the person, you'll know exactly who it is. Sonny Kiss actually is better known right now internationally for playing the part of Exolicious over on Lucha Underground, saying that AEW is for everyone, and so is he. So he's going to be at Double or Nothing. So I think that's a decent signing. Next is Cody came out to some cheers, and he talked about partnerships. Of course, they last press conference they did in Jacksonville. Of course, they announced a partnership with Oriental Wrestling Entertainment out of Shanghai, China. Now they have a partnership, this time with AAA out of Mexico. So, hey, we got potential to see Brian Cage, Drago, some Tejano, that whole crew show up in AEW. And let me tell you something, I'm all for that. Next, he talked about a pre-sale sign-up. So if you're going to be in the Las Vegas area or want to be in the Las Vegas area for this, they said they learned their lessons from All In, and they want to make sure the best fans, the really diehards, got the best seats. So if you hop onto their website, allelitewrestling.com, you click on a link right there, and you sign up for a pre-sale. Now, this is going to go all the way through Sunday. So if you're going to be there, or you can make travel arrangements to go to Las Vegas for this, you may want to look into that. I tried to check it around when they were making the announcement, and I could not get through, so maybe that's a good sign. I tried it about a little after the conference went off the air and was able to get through. It's just a simple, you just fill out a little form, you click send, and I assume they're going to send you an email or they'll send you some kind of information. I decided not to sign up for it because there's no way I can get out to Vegas. My wife wouldn't let me anyway. They brought out Sammy Guevara. Of course, he's hyping up the AAA partnership. He's the current cruiserweight champion out there, and he's going to shows off what he knows best. Adam Page came out, made some jokes about his body, and if you watch Being the Elite, that makes sense. But he was interrupted by a video conference from Pac. Pac saying that Adam Page, you're not just on my level. I'm just a devious bastard who was pigeonholed and kept away from audiences for too long. And at Double or Nothing, basically challenged him at Double or Nothing. So there you go. The first match was named Adam Page versus Pac. Next, the Young Bucks come out, and they started talking about trying to bring in the best tag teams in the world. So the first team that they brought out were the Best Friends. That is Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor. So they've signed. That's a big coup. That's a big score away from New Japan. Then afterwards, they were interrupted by Los Lucha Brothers. The Lucha Brothers then super kicked Nick, and then Matt took a package pile driver on the stage. They basically accepted and saying that they'll be there, so that's huge. Then Brandy Rhodes came out and started talking about the women's division. And they want to bring in some big names. Now this one was actually pretty good. They brought in about 4 new names because frankly, before all this, the women's division was very, very thin. It was her, Penelope Ford, and Dr. Britt Baker. So kind of thin, but this time they announced they brought in some talent. First, they weren't able to be there. I assume it's probably going to be due to travel or visa issues because related to the partial government shutdown. But that's just speculation. They're going to bring in Yuki Sakazaki. She's an up and comer, new one from I think it was like Tokyo Joshi Wrestling. And then they're going to bring in Aja Kong. Now, if you're an old wrestling fan like me, like Coco, like Wrestling and Ranting, that name will bring familiar. She's actually, I believe, she's actually half American. She was in WWE, or well, then WWF back in the '90s. This is back when they were kind of farting around with the women's division there with Lundra Blaze. They kind of brought her in. I think maybe there was a drug testing issue or something, and they weren't. And plus, the women's division was kind of falling apart at that point, and so she just went back to Japan, and so I'm really going to be happy to see her again. She's been a hell of a competitor over there, somebody not to be trifled with. So that's going to be interesting. But they did bring in a couple, but they did have some guests there. The first one they brought in was Kylie Ray. She is a wrestler actually out of Texas. One of the, it's a long story, but I follow a guy on my Facebook account, 60 Steve DeMarco. And I don't know if he directly trained her, but he was involved with her, coming up and in. Kylie Ray is somebody he was very high on, saying that, she busted her ass from day one. I've seen some of her stuff. Just picture like Bailey, kind of like a mixture of Bailey and Leva Bates, Blue Pants. That's kind of who Kylie Ray is. She was then interrupted by, they announced her as the American Kaiju, Nyla Rose. Picture someone kind of like Tamina Snuka or Nia Jax, someone in that style. I'm not comparing her to them. I'm just saying, just if you're trying to visually, get in your head kind of what they're like, what they're about, how they're perceived, or excuse me, how they're presented. That's what the way I would go there. They just got into a little bit of a conversation. They started jaw jacking each other. Security had to break that up. Next, they're bringing in another big collaboration. So they brought out SCU, and they announced that for coming up, that they were going to wrestle Sema. That's the protege of Ultimo Dragon, and two other partners of his choosing from OEW for a 6-man tag match at Double or Nothing. So that was really good. Then they go to a video package. The countdown clock on the cell phone ends, and then Kenny Omega comes out, as I mentioned. He says, he announced him as an executive vice president. So there's 4 executive vice presidents. I don't know how I feel about that because, you've got Cody, you got the Bucks, and now you've got Omega. I'm just worried that it's going to turn, when you have something like that, you're going to have, there's an old saying where I'm from, goes, too many chiefs and not enough Indians. I'm worried it may turn into something like that, or it may turn into something like, when Hall and Nash, went into WCW and they started bringing in people left and right. And they had a little too much creative control. I think if you can, I'm not saying that they would do anything intentionally to harm this company or only be in it for themselves, but, it's one of those, I think, you need to have checks and balances. And I think maybe like have somebody, to kind of come in and basically be the prick or something but you're having 4 executive vice presidents. I just don't know how I feel about that. I'm just a big fan of checks and balances. Maybe maybe my concerns are nothing. Maybe they'll be fully founded. I don't know. Only time will tell. But he came in and said, he said he was going to change the world. He said he'd just put pen to paper that day. So that was good. His contract officially up with New Japan. Chris Jericho came out. They walked up. He went straight up to Omega, and these two about started swinging on each other. They eventually had to get broken up there. So right now, this thing went a little over an hour. I thought it was actually kind of funny because wrestling show with no wrestling. So it was like watching Monday Night Raw. Hey-o. So right now we've got 4 official matches named for Double or Nothing on May 25th. We have Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega, Adam Page versus Pac, the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, and SCU versus SEMA and two of his partners from Oriental Wrestling Entertainment. So down here in the comment section, tell me what you think. I think it's good for professional wrestling. As I said yesterday on the show that I did, AEW has not run one official show yet, and they're already improving the landscape of professional wrestling because it's got companies jockeying to secure talent. So the talent's benefiting because they're getting secure deals. They're getting long, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 year contracts at, 6, 7 figures. You get, you've got wrestling all over the internet, wrestling on TV now. Right now, that's one thing they did not announce at the conferences. Is a TV deal. I was kind of hoping they would have something nailed down by then. I was hoping maybe it'd be something like a TBS or TNT, or hell, at this point, maybe even a Netflix deal. I mean, just something. But but we're still a long way out. I think maybe that'll be the announcement when they do the show on the 25th. I think they will, hopefully by then, if not before then, by then announce a television deal. Hopefully everything works out for them. But anyway, down here in the comment section, tell me exactly what you thought. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Do you think having 4 executive vice presidents is a bad thing? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think this is going to take off and be the next big thing? Do you think this is going to be like WCW? This is going to crash and burn because the inmates are running the asylum? Or are you bored by it? I mean, there's some people, a lot of critics, they just not going to give the elite a chance. That's fine. I mean, it's their opinion. It's America. You're allowed to do that. Say, it's just a rehash of stuff that happened in Impact and stuff that happened in Ring of Honor, stuff that happened in New Japan. Well, out of all these matches, only one, and that was Jericho and Omega, which happened over a year ago at Wrestle Kingdom. It was the only rematch on the card. So I think if you're just gonna, if you've got it out for the young, if you've got it out against the elite, I don't think you're ever going to give them a chance. But if you will give them a chance, who knows? Great things will happen here. So, but anyway, I want to know what you think. I think this is just earth-shattering here for the world of professional wrestling. Definitely historic day. I wound up watching the whole thing live. I was entertained by it because I finally started looking down at the clock. I was like, oh, this has been going on for a while. How long was that? And I was like, oh shit, this has been going on for just about an hour here. Fuck, it actually went over just a little over an hour, and I was entertained the entire time. So hopefully it's a good sign. So anyway, in the meantime, kids, check us out, KokoSports.com. That's KOCOSports.com. It's your home for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up button, hit that notification bell, because you never know when we're going to do these things. We try to do these things whenever we can. So I'm doing it here just before 7:30 in the morning. So you got to be on your toes here. Also, be sure to subscribe to, I have to say this because otherwise he'll yell at me, to Coco's Play channel, Coco Plays, where you can watch him play NHL hockey and fire pro wrestling poorly because he's too stupid to use Twitch. Buy his book, Operation Freak Show, over on Amazon.com. Also, Coco's got a new new channel on YouTube. Don't ask what the hell it's called. It's just like him and another guy. They're talking about writing. Yes, they're talking about writing books. Instead of actually writing books or thinking about writing books, they're talking about writing books instead of actually writing, because that totally makes sense. Let's see. Oh yeah, and check out Wrestling Rantin'. He's not associated with us, but we love him anyway. Wrestling Rantin', RASSSLIN. Yes, that's 3 S's, and Rantin', RANTIN. Really super nice guy. Totally makes some really good videos there. So we're definitely big fans of his. He's definitely big fans of ours. So we try to help each other out. So the rest of you out there in Every Treat, take care of yourselves. We love you. And in the meantime, the boom just went bang. And